He tried to humiliate me at my wife's work party. He had no idea who I was the night of my wife's company party. I was just there to be supportive. Sarah had been excited for weeks. This was a major networking event at her marketing firm, with execs, colleagues, and clients all under one roof. I didn't know many of them, and honestly, I was fine with that. I dressed well, kept a low profile, and let her take the spotlight. I wasn't there to impress anyone, just to be the husband standing proudly at her side. The venue buzzed with music and laughter. As we made our way through the room, Sarah introduced me to a few co-workers. Small talk, handshakes, polite smiles, and then came Daniel, tall, arrogant, wearing that smug half-smile people wear when they size you up and decide you're not worth much. He shook my hand, not in a friendly way, but with just enough force to try and assert something. "So you're Sarah's husband?" he asked, like I was a last-minute addition to the guest list. "That's right," I replied, calm and neutral. Daniel looked me up and down, then said with a smirk, "Must be nice not having to worry about work while your wife's out here climbing the ladder." The comment was subtle, but the arrogance was loud. I saw Sarah shift uncomfortably next to me. I just smiled. I'd met his type before, loud, insecure, always trying to prove something. But he wasn't finished. Over the next half hour, Daniel kept making little digs, jokes about how I must have married up, how Sarah needed someone more driven, how I probably didn't understand what it's like to be in a real competitive space. People around us laughed awkwardly, clearly sensing the tension, but too polite to step in. Sarah tried to change the subject more than once, but Daniel kept steering it back to me, like he was testing me. And then he crossed the line. He leaned in with his drink and said, "In a crowd like this, it's survival of the fittest. Not everyone can handle it. Some people just fade into the background." He glanced at Sarah, testing the waters. That's when I set my glass down, locked eyes with him, and replied evenly, "Daniel, you're right. Not everyone can handle a competitive environment. But I've spent the last decade thriving in one that's a hell of a lot more cutthroat than this." He raised an eyebrow, half smirking. "Oh yeah? Doing what?" I stayed calm, collected. Special forces, 10 years, multiple combat deployments, then private security consulting for high-profile clients. My job? Outsmart, outmaneuver, and outlast people whose full-time goal was to kill me. So no offense, but your little office power games don't exactly shake me. The smirk slid off his face. The air shifted. Conversations around us paused, just for a moment. Someone let out a nervous laugh. Daniel looked down, suddenly very interested in the bottom of his glass. He mumbled something about just joking. Sarah gave my hand a quiet squeeze beneath the table, a silent thanks for staying composed. For the rest of the night, Daniel kept his distance. The few times we crossed paths again, his attitude had changed. Respectful, quiet, careful. Some of the others started asking about my work and my travels. I kept my answers brief. I wasn't there to impress. Just to remind one man that appearances can lie. As we left the party, Sarah chuckled and said, "You didn't have to tell him all that." I grinned. I didn't. I told him just enough. On the drive home, I thought about how quick people are to judge based on appearances. Daniel saw a quiet guy in the background and assumed that meant weakness. What he didn't realize is this: the most dangerous person in the room is never the loudest. It's the one who knows exactly what he's capable of and doesn't need to prove it. From that night on, Sarah told me Daniel was different, polite, reserved, never cracked another joke in my direction, and every time I showed up to one of her office events, he gave me a wide berth. I didn't hold a grudge, but I'm certain of one thing: he never forgot the moment he realized he had no idea who I really was.